Hello, Waswere here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Croesus and my thoughts on it. Jagex definitely did something that none of us really expected. They were able to create a somewhat difficult to learn skilling encounter and have it feel rewarding. I know I was expecting basically an RS3 version of Wintertodt where it's kind of AFK, but you can optimize it if you want to. The type of content you can watch Netflix while doing, a second monitor activity, so to speak. I got 99 fire making on old school, so I had about 50 to 60 hours of experience at the place, and honestly, I really didn't like Wintertodt, so that's kind of why I wasn't too excited for Croesus, but it turns out they released something completely different. My biggest problem with Croesus is the lack of variability. This is what I believe is going to kill the boss long term. Every single kill is the exact same. In 4-mans, you do the same thing every time. You mine 16 resources, deposit it. Kill your fungus, rotate 180 degrees, deposit it. Pick up the 16 resources that someone else left for you, rotate another 90 degrees, restore the statue, and pray once the second energy fungus comes out. Every single kill. This makes it very boring after a while, and the only enjoyment comes from the drops and the fact that you're hanging out with mates on Discord or in-game. It's definitely really fun to learn, but once you have it down, it gets repetitive very fast. It's that old idiom that if you give players the opportunity, they will optimize the fun out of the game. Prodox ran a poll on his channel, as he has done for the previous fronts as well, and he has a pretty wide berth, so I didn't repeat the poll, but the majority of people rated it below a 5, in comparison with previous fronts that were 21% and 24% at 5 or below. You can see where I voted on each of them, and you can see where I stand on each of the boss fights. My suggestion for fixing that would be a randomizer. Basically, instead of it being set where the resources have to end up, instead it can go to any statue, maybe even the one that you're right beside. This requires the players to think on their feet, and figuring out the puzzle would be the fun part of the boss. You can even make this the hard mode, which gives player either better contribution or better rewards. There's less of a chance that you can optimize the fun out of it because you need to know exactly what to do for every single combination. This gives players the option of having the super chill one where you know exactly what you're doing every time, or the hard one where you have to adapt and giving more people what they want. I, for one, would definitely rather take that one, as the more fun you have, the longer you're going to stay there, and the more collection log progress you're going to make. The next biggest problem, but I think it's the most tackleable problem, is the contribution score. Currently, the way you get it is super whack. PVME has been documenting what actions give what score, and they have a pseudo summary ready, and the clear thing to look at is that the energy fungus mechanic gives you the most score at 5 for every tick that you are on it. It's so good that it's actually worth stalling a kill to wait for the second energy fungus, and then killing it instead of just insta-praying to get rid of the fungus. And if you happen to be going with someone who has 2 accounts, they can bring in a second account to scale up the fight to an extra person, making the energy fungus last even longer and more contribution. By waiting for the second fungus, we can guarantee that all 4 of us get above the 420 threshold to get all 12 drops. Getting better at the boss fight and trying to go faster should give you more contribution per hour, not less. But there's no incentive to try to go fast because we're waiting for the second fungus anyway. In terms of fixing this, I would maybe start everyone at a high contribution based on the team size, so the total contribution per kill at the start is the same, and every mistake you make and every second that passes, the contribution goes down. This makes it a focus of trying to go fast and not get hit, aka getting better at the boss instead of not worrying if you get hit or go fast. One quick last thing I want to mention, and I really didn't think about this until Evo Lucario tweeted about it, but he's so right. There is very little avenue for power creep here, as the power creep that does come in won't really change the meta. You're still going to be killing it slow to max out the contribution. It's not like Solak where the meta has evolved over the years as more power creep has entered the game. At first it was a big tank test, so the final phase with a lot of pressure on the mine tank. Then it turned into a pseudo DPS, pseudo tank role where you do a little bit of both, and now it's turned into a pure DPS battle against the mind. So we've got 3 different metas out of 1 phase of the boss fight, all from power creep entering the game. This power creep keeps it fresh and changes up the fight. Even something like the T95 Lengsors has changed how I kill Solak, as I'm now doing more damage than I was before, and it makes the fight new, for another couple hundred kills. Now that we've covered the problems, let's talk about the positives. I really don't want to rag on Jagex too hard here, it isn't that bad. The common drop table is pretty damn good, and most if not all of the items are either ALKs or used in high level PVM. This is great for Ironmen, especially those that love to chug their summoning potion. And it won't have the same Archglaze or Streaky multiplier that really crash those commons down. Plus, if you're getting 12 rolls a kill and about 9 kills an hour, you're getting 20 to 25 mil in commons alone. So it's very profitable with virtually no gear requirement. And it could come out that this is now the bridge to get into BVM, as your first 100 mil can be the hardest 100 mil you ever make, but once you get that gear, you can then start doing the other bosses for more profit. Next up is the rare drops. These are all really cool. As a whole, Jagex has been doing a great job of producing a large amount of rewards so far in the back half of 2021. They feel unique and they all feel useful, which is really all we can ask for. I've already covered Cliploom in 2 videos, one as a pre-release and then an AFK Vindicta method. There are a lot more uses for it, and I've had the most fun at hard mode Carepack, making me nearly indestructible while wielding it. The Scripture of Bic is a clue scroller's wet dream, giving you clues passively. The fact that the skilling offhands are how you get the new arrow tips is very inventive, heavily increasing the profit on mining and woodcutting. So these are must-have items if you're going to be going for 120s or 200 mils in the skill. And the fact that you can sell them back when they're done is very nice, so they're not forever locked to your account when you no longer need them. And then last, but kind of least, the seed bag has its use to help Ironmen with their bank space. One thing I have kind of noticed though is that this log is likely going to be one of the longest logs out there, potentially rivaling AOD. Criploom is pretty rare, and as they don't drop in order, you need to get about 11 to 12 rolls of them on average to get all 5 uniques, so this log could be in the thousands of KC. Basically, Linza's 2.0. There's my thoughts on Croesus. Let me know down below what you think. It's not that bad, but it's not great, as you can see how I rated it a 5 out of 10 on Protox's poll. If you like the content I'm creating, consider subscribing, but past that, have a good day, and I'll catch ya in the next one.